And Bongi asks, how can I explain to Protestant friends why it is okay for me to pray to St. Michael the Archangel and to the saints? Yeah, that's a really good question. I find actually the most poignant thing to point out to them is to say, well, can I ask you to pray for me? And they usually say, like, well, yeah, of course. Then you say, well, are people in heaven dead or alive? And they'll say, well, no, they're alive. They're more alive than us. So why can't I ask them to pray for me? And then they kind of say, they don't quite know how to respond to that. And that really kind of lays out the whole thing, right? When we pray to St. Michael the Archangel or the saints, we aren't worshiping them. We're really asking for their intercession. We're asking for their protection. We're asking for them to act insofar as they are able to help us and to protect us, which always is through the divine power. Right? And you can even hear that in the St. Michael prayer, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits. It's always asking the saints to implore God's favor on us. And oftentimes they'll hear that Catholics pray to saints or something of that sort, but what they hear is that Catholics worship saints, right? There's a big distinction there. We use the word pray in two different ways. We pray to God, which would be a worship, and then we pray to saints, which isn't worship. It's a kind of honor, or what we refer to as veneration in English. But that veneration is saying, you imitated Christ, therefore I love you because you are like Christ. And now I ask you to ask God to send blessings upon me, or upon those whom I'm praying for. But that separation doesn't exist for Protestants. And so they hear really just worship. But when you sit down and you say, like, let me tell you some of the prayers that I pray so you can hear it and understand what I mean, and you actually go through the actual wording of those prayers, they look at it and they go, oh, no, that does make sense. Like, you are just asking these people to pray for you. And you say, exactly. And you do that all the time because you've asked me to pray for you, and I ask you to pray for me. And now I'm just doing this with my brothers and sisters who are in heaven and who have nothing better to do than to pray.